Serena Show. Dance with Serena and learn the fun way to beauty, grace, and a youthful figure.
Hello, I'm Serena, and welcome to my advanced performance class. I'm just going to share a very treasured time in my life, dancing at the pyramids in Egypt. It was mystical, it was godly, it was incredible, it was eternal. I will never, never forget it. And now, let's dance. This is one of a set of wings that are worn on each arm. They're permanently pleated, and when the dancer comes out and slowly brings them up on each side, they make a spectacular effect, especially on an entrance. What you're going to see now is a collection of the highlights of the many years that I have been teaching. Some of these highlights were filmed in a professional television studio, and some were filmed in my own studio. But they do together demonstrate a step-by-step approach to the Serena technique. And now, do join me. Let's dance.
That was a Turkish finger snap. It's not hard to do. You just put your hands together like this and take your two index fingers, and there you have it. We're going to use this finger snap in a little while with a Turkish 9/8 step. It's fun to do because you use every part of the body with the step. I'm also going to introduce you to the Turkish rhythm. Right now, it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. In a moment, we're going to do a warm-up with this. So get used to this rhythm. It's 1, 2, 3 with a pause on the fourth beat. We have nothing in American rhythms quite like it. It's very exciting. I think you're going to have fun with this one. It also uses every part of the body. We'll be using the shoulders, hips, legs, and later on we'll add a little hop to the step. The Turkish welcoming step, or 9/8 step, uses personality as well as your body, and personality is a very important part of being beautiful. If you feel beautiful, you look beautiful. That's the wonderful thing about Oriental dancing. It makes you really feel beautiful. And in a welcoming step, you're going to feel as though you're welcoming people into your home with your arms, with your body, and with your face as well. Let's have a little warm-up to a Turkish 9/8 rhythm called Rompi. Here's the rhythm, and follow me now with your feet a few inches apart, the knees flexed. Let's go. Here's the rhythm now. It's 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, hip. 1, 2, 3, pause. Get the hip out to the side. 1, 2, 3, pause. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bend straight, bend straight. Do this with me now. Get those knees to bend. How about pulling in and pushing back? 1, 2, 3, 4. Arch in through here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, ba, boom, ba. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shoulders. As we do the Turkish 9/8 step together, I'd like you to hop as much as you can so that you get the full benefit of the dance as an exercise. Get those legs to really move. Follow me as I use my skirt as part of the dance. I'm also going to add the finger snap. I don't expect you to be able to do that right away, but if you can do it, why not? Let's have a little rompy and follow me as we do the 9/8. Watch the skirt. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hop, hop, hop, hop. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a snap. I'll see you tomorrow when we work on another part of the body, so join me then.
This is a magic silk veil. Years ago we didn't have magic silk veils, but they're very prevalent today. And what's wonderful about them is that when you bring the veil up, it doesn't just go, it floats down slowly. And it's a magical thing to use. So that's what I do recommend is magic silk. Now, what we do, one of the ways in which we cover our costume when we make an entrance is what I call the sari drape. We come around, we bring it up like this. Now, you may have different ways of getting out of this wrap, but I'm going to show you one way because I'm going to ask our musicians to play typical veil music. It's almost like a slow rumba. And you'll see how I remove the veil, and I would like 3 at a time for you guys to do the same. Okay, you just finished your fast part. You just got rid of your sills. Notice I haven't looked at the veil. You can take your veil off and you can come out and do an improvisation 3 at a time. Pretend you've removed your veil and now it's improv time. Imagine that I am being filmed, believe it or not. And if I'm being filmed, I want every second to be wonderful. I don't want the cameraman to catch me like this, or like this, or something like stuck. Just remember that I'd want you to pose as if you were a painting being hung at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Okay. Next three, please. Very nice. Next group. People have a tendency when they're serious, and the veil is not a time when you smile broadly at your audience, but it's also not a time when you look angry. And a lot of people, when they're serious about their veil work, look mad. Their lips are tight together, and they don't realize that the corners of their mouths are going down, when in actuality, you have to have a pleasant expression on your face when you're dancing with the veil, please. I call it a half smile. Not, ha-ha, here I am. No. The mouth is not pressed shut, the lips. The lips are not pressed shut. Slightly open, half smile while you are using the veil. Use your arms symmetrically. Try not to do one thing and then another thing. It's better to use both arms together when you're using the veil. And if you can turn, throw in plenty of turns. Next group, please. Things that people do with the veil sometimes when they dance. If there's a guy in the audience, they go over to him and they take the veil and they'll make a turban on his head like this and make him like he is the pasha for the night. It's okay to do that. That's not in bad taste. So if you have one guy who may be especially appreciative of what you're doing and you want to make him the pasha for the evening, that's fine. Anyway, we're going to go on to the slow Telly. So if you'll take your veils and put them away, on to slow Telly. We're just going to do something with zills and Telly, even though a lot of times you don't use zills on Telly. Telly is my favorite rhythm to use zills. And you'll see why when we do some tricky stuff. Okay, little Telly, please. Listen. Okay, hold it. What I wanted you to do on the is lean forward a little bit like you're giving the audience a gift. And if you're giving them a gift, you're not going to go like this. Because this is to give. This is to take away. So I want you to do a very delicate shimmy with the first part of the Telly. So it's, and then notice when I change to this, I change my foot position, lean forward. We have to make it a little trickier. On the shimmy part, I'm doing Suherzeki hips with the shimmy. So I'm going, so it's out and down, but not out, down, and in. So it's doom, da, da, da, da, da, and then change the position and, okay, let's go, maestro, and. Start with this. Bells on the second part. I'm going. Let's have some Telly and I'll do another one, a different one. So I went. let's do it that way. Now we're only going to play on the second part of the shifted Telly. Let's have some music, maestros and again. 7. On 7, you're doing the pose. 5, 6, 7. Soft circle. We're going to do one that is fairly simple. It's going to be a running step shimmy with snake arms and very soft double zills. So, music again, maestro, please. All I want to see, this is a pretty basic thing now, I want to see your snake arm movement because I see some boo-boos in the snake arm department. Welcome to the performance workshop. We're going to start with entrances and try to cover as much of the full show as we can. So I'm going to ask our musicians to play a medium fast tempo, our drummer first, and I want you all to just try to follow me across the floor with a couple of things. So let's back up and start from here, and maestro, please. What I'm going to do, keep playing, that's right, I'm going to do step, slide, steps, and walk, and the arms are somewhat symmetrical. Sorry, but your arms are all over the place, and I can't have that singing in the video. Down at the floor, and up. Different step. We're going to do a different step across the floor, but I don't want you to look down at the floor unless there are $100 bills there. See, otherwise, you can go do this, but otherwise I want you to look at your audience, smile, and let's do something else. I'll start. Do the best you can, because I don't even know right now what I'm going to do, but I'm going to pretend I'm performing and you are my audience. song, by the way, was called halvaji. I think that means candy maker. Have you ever had halva?
Yes. Too much.
Too much halva?
Oh, yeah.
Let's try something a little bit faster. Actually, I'd just like to show you how I would come out doing a show. I would usually come out with a taksim and then go into something bright. I'll show you what I mean. Short taksim, maestro. Each of you do a little bit of taksim, and then we'll go to the fast stuff. Okie dokie? Let's see a little taksim. How about this? Because I know you're a little shy. 3 people at a time. Come out on the taksim and just go into a pose. Sorry, Teresa. It's just that your arms are so far off from anything I would teach. Another taksim entrance. Can I bring you a chair? Are left. Oh, okay. 3 and then 2. Try to come over and pretend that we're the audience. You don't have to come forward. I'm going to make the correction in general. You do your taksim, you're moving slowly, da-da-da-da-da-da. You hold your pose, the music starts, you don't change into something else. You stay with that pose and start with the rhythm. You don't taksim and then go into something very suddenly. You start with pose, the taksim in a pose, and then you kind of start the rhythm a little bit, and a little more, and a little more, and then all of a sudden, you can't control yourself, and you have to come out to your audience. Last taksimers, please. Thank you for smiling. The next part is going to be veils, and what I would do, I would wear the veil draped over my costume, and I'm sure you probably have already seen me do this. What I do is when I'm ready to do the veil, I would turn, maybe pose, I would back up, and without looking, take the zills off, because I can't use the veil and play the zills at the same time. Well, we're going to pretend that you just sneakily got rid of your zills and you're going to start your veil work. So please get your veil. The slow shift to Telly is a very magical time in the dance. It's a time when the dancer might balance a sword on her head and do beautiful things on the floor, or balance a tray with lit candles on her head, or just have candles in her hands, and when she does her floor work, place one candle on her stomach and let it quiver a little bit as she comes up from the floor. I'm just going to show you a little bit of shifted Telly using this cane as my prop. Normally the cane would be used for a faster rhythm, but I'm just going to give you an idea of how I would move to the shifted Telly using the prop. But I want you to use the shifted Telly, and if you wish, do a little bit of floor work. It'll be very short, but on to shifted Telly. I would just make eye contact with the musicians, and they understand. Not every musician would understand this, but they would understand that I'm ready to finish a sequence, and they would go into an ending, and you people are realizing that because you're ending in a pose. And that is the idea of working with musicians who are dancers musicians, because they are watching you and you are watching them, and there's this communication back and forth. Another tip to Telly. able to do a split, more power to you. I like sometimes when a dancer does a split, and I'm not going to do one right now, even though I normally do it in class, is to do it with a snake arm movement. And could you come here for a moment? Could you possibly, during this shift to Telly now, go to the floor in a slow split, facing the audience, and doing it with a beautiful snake arm movement? Could I see that, please? Shift to Tellys to go? Yes? All right, let's have some more. Is that all the shift to Tellys? Honest? Okay. We're going to go on to drum solos. I'm going to work, if everybody will come in a line here, we just work on a couple of drum solo techniques before I have you do a little bit on your own. What's interesting about drum solos are that you can do small shimmies, big shimmies, sharp movements. The sharp movements can even be head slide, or shoulder movements, or rib cage movements, or stomach movements, or hip movements. There are so many different ways that you can use a drum solo and use various parts of your body as far as an accent is concerned. We're just going to do a series of drum riffs right now, and just follow me, and we're going to repeat them a little bit and then go on to another one. So I think we're ready with our drummers to begin. You got the idea? Okay, let's go on to a different one now. We're going to do one now and use a running step shimmy. Okay. Anything you want, maestros and maestras. drum thing we're going to do now is just a roll that ends up in a pose. This would be the final thing that you would do in your drum solo. So we're just going to have a drum roll that builds up.
Can we do that again?
Yes. I would think so. It ended a little short.
You want a nice long...
A little bit longer. Okay? Ready? Good, good, good. I just have another comment. Once you make a pose, especially at the end of a drum solo, you can't do this. Let's just have the final beat. You can't change your mind after you do the pose. You have to hold the pose. You can't waver from the pose. I'm going to ask you to get your zills again because we're going to now do a goodbye. The ending of the dance is a little bit like the beginning. It's joyful. The audience has seen how wonderful you are, so they're in a very good mood. And because they're in a good mood, while you're dancing, it's certainly acceptable for you to bring somebody up, doing some simple steps, have them do a little of what we would call audience participation. I'm going to do it first, and then when you guys do it, I want you to do the same thing. Bring somebody up, but do not, when you bring somebody up, do something tricky. Stay with something that they can do. You don't want to embarrass somebody who just showered you with $100 bills, right? Okay, let's have a finale, please. Good. Okay, let's see an ending to a performance now.
How many at a time?
3 at a time, but could you guys come a little over to this side too? Don't be shy. And ask somebody from the audience who looks like they might get up and dance with you. You know, there are some people who are shy and won't get up, but I think we have some people here who'll join you. But nothing too tricky. Pretend you're somebody who has never danced before in your life. You were doing that perfectly. Especially teaching the person maybe to do a simple little hip movement. Very nice, because then they go away feeling that they've had a dance lesson, which was a wonderful thing. So let's have a couple of more people for finales. few more finales, okay? Move up a little bit, everybody. Thank you. I just want to thank all of you so much. You were wonderful, and you shared something that's been part of my life, all of my life, and I hope there'll be many more dance classes with Serena to come, and again, you were wonderful. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Serena, and we're going to be talking about choreography today. Choreography is a very individual thing and a very creative thing, and much of it depends on the music that you choose and the rhythm, and of course your personality and attitude, because you are there to perform and entertain. And for an audience to sit back and say, oh, look at the choreography, wouldn't be right. It would be, look at the entire dancer, look at the beautiful dancer. So the choreography is there to enhance the dancer and her personality. The music I have chosen today is called Istemem Babacım. It's by Scott Wilson, and it has a nice, easy rhythm. Much of choreography, when you're using songs that are traditional, is in an 8-beat kind of system or a genre. And those 8 beats are an important part of choreography. The music I've chosen also starts with a taksim, which means arrhythmic, no rhythm. And with the taksim, the dancer can enter slowly or stand in place and do beautiful arm movements. I'm going to demonstrate the taksim to you right now. Starts, especially for an opening number, I like the dancer to walk toward the audience as if she's saying, hello, how are you? And then she can do a basic backup step. This is what I call a basic backup step. I'm just stepping in kind of a step slide step with a little hip work. After that, into what I call a kashlama. It's an old Turkish step, but it's used by Egyptians as well as Turks, and it's a very popular step here, in which you use this kind of footwork. I'm going forward step and back step, forward step and back step, forward step and back step, forward. You see what I just did? I just used my hip in a sharper way. With that same step, the step is very versatile. So between the walk forward and going back and the kashlama, or kash as we call it, we have almost a whole dance. I may also throw in a few turns.
babacığım, istemem. İstemem babacığım, istemem. Arın Ali ahli, enne beni dehli. İstemem babacığım, istemem. Arın Ali ahli, enne beni dehli. İstemem babacığım, istemem. Taksim seni sakuşa vereyim mi? Yarım seni sakuşa vereyim mi? İstemem babacığım, istemem. İstemem babacığım, istemem. Arın Ali ahli, enne beni deli. İstemem babacığım, istemem. Arın Ali ahli, enne beni deli. İstemem babacığım, istemem. Arın Ali Ali, ene beni dehli. İstemem babacığım, istemem. Arın Ali ahli, ene beni deli. İstemem babacığım, istemem.
When I teach travel steps, I'll usually have the class go across the floor with a variety of steps. There are many travel steps in my repertoire, and some that I use very often, others I don't use that often, depending, of course, on the music, on the rhythm that I'm moving to. But now I'm going to show you some of the travel steps that I use and some of the names that I give those travel steps. We're going to start, actually, with just a simple walk. I call it a personality walk. So I'm going to back up. And I'm going to show you the personality walk. Here we go. The personality walk. Again, arms and hands and a smile. Personality walk with a shoulder shimmy. Now it's step, step, releve. Step, step, releve. Step, step, releve. Back up, back, back, and back. Now what I'm going to do is, I call it a step, slide, step. Step, slide, step, step, slide, step, step, slide, step, step, slide, step. Now that step has a variety of arm patterns. Here's a couple of them. Step, slide, step. That's step, slide, step. Now here is what I call Turkish travel. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. See how my hip went up and down? It went down, up. 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what that is. Now I'm going to show you what we call hip skip. Here's hip skip. It's done in releve. Heels are up. Doing it slow now, so to show you fast. Notice I'm facing forward, my body's in profile. into a hip extension as I'm traveling. So it's hip extension, travel. And that one has a lot of variations too, like shimmies with it, shimmy, shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. A little faster. Here's the hip skip twist. Back up. Turkish travel. Back up. Just plain walking. But here's one of the most fun ones of all. The hourly walk. I'm dropping my hip in a shimmy as I walk. Give a smile. Much better, much closer together. Don't get too far apart. Good. Great. Now, slowly exit, slowly exit. Take your time. Very nice, very nice. I just have one small thing. When you're doing the backup step, Timmy's doing this, a very stylized thing, and you're not. You should both be doing the same thing. On the back, you know when you back up?
Yes.
Backup step?
Wait,
What do you do? He's doing
Oh,
that.
okay, okay.
Yeah. And sometimes when two people are dancing together, it's better to have something stylized like that, indefinite. So back up with that. Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great job, great job.
Thank you for joining me in the advanced professional level, and I hope to see you soon.